Okay.
And welcome to the By the Damn House podcast. My name is Christina Joy, and I am one half
Of this duo.
Of this duo.
My name is Grace Carpenter, and I'm the other half.
Woo-woo!
Here we are.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. By the Damn House podcast.
Yes, we're so excited.
Yes.
So since you are here as listeners and observers of this evolving thing that we're creating.
Right.
We started off yesterday with Virgins to Vixens because of so many amazing reasons. Like, I still love that. Like, it's always going to be a thing for me that I love that name. But during the recording yesterday, it naturally came out and evolved just so organically by the Damn House. Because really, when it came down to everything we were talking about yesterday, it was take action.
It was.
Okay, so wait, I'm sorry, just really quick. This reminds me of I follow, of course, Tony Robbins on, and he said the quickest way to make change is massive action. No matter what it is, massive action. And that is exactly what the podcast
I just got chills.
is, right?
Right.
Buy the damn house. Do the damn thing.
Do the damn thing.
That's the action.
Oh my gosh. Yes. What is it? Old ways won't open new doors.
Right. 100%. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results, it's called
insanity. I know, it's true.
I love that, though.
Me too.
I know it's overused and all the people use it, but if you really think about it
and apply it,
that is huge.
Yeah.
Because you really can't expect a different outcome in life, in relationships, in yourself, in your kids, and if you don't take the massive action.
That's right.
And it's scary sometimes.
But let's just put in a caveat to our listeners who are real estate curious. Mm-hmm. Massive action doesn't mean going out and buying 15 houses and you've never had a rental property before.
100%.
You can start small, but have it be a massive action in the right direction.
Well, that is
by
a massive
one house. Yeah.
That's a massive action for a lot of people.
Right.
Though.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like 100%. But I get what you're saying. Put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Buy one damn house.
Right. You don't have to buy 17.
No, you don't.
Which let me circle back to that about yesterday because it's been bothering me ever since we recorded.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's rehash or unbox, as they say, the 17 doors. Because I said you mean 17 houses, and I was not accurate when I said that.
17 units. So when you become a real estate investor, really quickly, because of duplexes and triplexes and multifamily, you start to categorize your portfolio in terms of doors. And those are front doors, not back doors and front doors, but per unit. So I have 17 units. Right. And I do not count my personal residence in that.
But
because
you
it's
count
not an investment property.
The two attached that
are
apartments.
Rentals.
Right.
Yes.
So any door. So you own 4 duplexes.
That's right.
So that would be 8 doors.
8 doors.
Right, exactly.
Correct.
And currently, I own 3 doors, but they're all single-family homes, which, as we talked about on the last podcast, I'm going to house hack the one. So so even just by doing that, then it would be 4 doors.
Exactly.
So,
and if you buy a duplex, that's 2 more.
Exactly.
So then it'd be 6 doors.
So I'll have 6 doors by the end of the year.
So you'll double your portfolio in 1 year.
Right. Just by house hacking one house and buying one property, quote unquote, a duplex, which is now 6 doors. Yeah. So I love that. I just wanted to clarify that because I mean, I knew that, but when I said it in the podcast yesterday, I just kept thinking about it and I was like, wait, we have to clarify.
Yeah. And it's good to be correct because what we can do on this channel, if you want, is really get into like the real estate investor lingo so that anybody out on the street who's talking to other investors for the first time, they're comfortable with all the terminology because there's a lot of jargon. Don't you think?
100%.
Is that jargon? Jargon?
I don't know.
Yeah, there is though. There's a lot of like
absolutely
really detailed little tiny things that you're just going to sound a whole lot smarter using in a real estate world. Okay, so can I just, doors is one of them.
Can I just really quick, every time I hear jargon, I think of Elle from Legally Blonde in that scene me and my daughter, we say it all over and over again together when she's walking, and she's like, and I'm perfectly fine with using legal jargon in my everyday life.
Yes!
And then the guy
I
whistles.
object!
Yeah. And then the guy whistles. Can't whistle. And then she goes, I object. Yes. It's my favorite scene.
I got a blowout last
caveat.
week, and Legally Blonde was playing, and it was the bend and snap part.
Oh.
And I had my mom with me. I was getting her blowout too, and we were just dying.
It. Bend and snap.
Bend and snap.
99% rate of dinner every time. Or 96 or whatever. I love it. Anyway.
And then the guy comes in, he's like, oh, the bend and snap.
Works every time. Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Okay. Anyway, she's awesome because I object.
Did she say jargon or jargon?
She says jargon.
Okay. Well, we're Californians too, so we can say jargon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
and
yes.
I have to say, on that little side note of that movie, it's so awesome because, I was an interior designer, and then being in that world, and I worked with flips, I worked with contractors, and I saw these other people making money off of my designs, and I was like, no, wait, I want to do this, right? It's just like, I want to do the flips. I want to be the person. So sometimes when I get dressed in the morning, it's like I feel like Elle when she goes to law school, and then she's like Barbie Elle.
Yeah.
Like Barbie, law school Barbie now.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
she has
I feel
her, she has her little wingtip glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
she gets her little apple back in the 90s. And it's just, I just love it because you can be so fun, and you can be so like just into feeling pretty, right? And just into
dress the part.
Like
wake up in the morning and
yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Embody
that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, okay, is today going to be like design day? I could be a little more looser. Is it going to be a real estate day? Like I feel like I dress the part. Like every day, it's like dress up day.
I love that.
It's so fun. It's just so fun.
I don't do that hardly at all. In fact, I think I let people down because for the most part, I dress like a soccer mom.
You just show up.
I just show up. But and it's really funny because there's all these preconceived notions about what a real estate investor looks like. But let me tell you, in the real world, what a real estate investor looks like is a baseball hat, jeans, sneakers, walking into the bank, a little bit dirty because you've been up in an eve or inspecting something, caulking.
This morning.
Yes, I do that.
She was walking around the house with this white tube, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just caulking." I'm like,
"If you see something, say something."
Exactly. I have a different version of that word.
I live in a historic house, and I love the look of perfectly white lines from caulking, and so I do it all the time. Like literally, no corner is safe. But no, so when I walk into the bank, sometimes I'm walking in with a huge check, or I'm doing a huge wire transfer, and the teller looks at me like, who is this schlubby lady?
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, can we do a wire? I want to set it up. It's for like $186,000. It's going to this title agency. And they look me up and down. They're like, okay.
A little judgy. Yeah.
But I don't.
It's okay.
I love dressing up, but it's usually for a purpose. Like I don't get up in the morning and
get dressed up. Yeah. I get it.
But construction sites, why would you do that?
Yeah.
That would be silly.
But I love it.
I know.
I think it's just that's just a personal choice. You know what I mean? I just wear my cute little Converse shoes, with the situation. Anyway, it just makes me feel good. And I think at the end of the day, that's the point. Anyway, okay, so also, I wanted to share that we didn't get a chance to share yesterday is I said I've been doing real estate for a while. And so what I just wanted to bring out was how we talked about following your dreams, right?
Yeah.
Following your passions.
Right.
Do the thing, right? Do the damn thing, whatever it is. So in 2018, I got divorced and I decided I wanted to live in a tiny home.
Right.
So I bought a 1978 Airstream Sovereign.
Yes.
And I was on Craigslist every night looking, where can I find this? And I Googled the best ones with the mid-bath and the best with the side Vista view windows. And then, of course, I found one. I'm living in Palm Springs at the time. And, of course, I find one in Arizona where Bestie lives. So I'm like, Grace, I'm coming out to Arizona. It's up in the hills. You got to come take a look at this Airstream with me. And so then we go up there. I pay $10,000 cash.
Okay. Let's describe
Okay.
up there.
Okay, yeah,
Because
up
it was
there.
a 3.5-hour drive. It was in
Yes.
Sholo.
Yes.
And there was
Yes.
snow on the ground.
Yes.
And we were
acorns.
like
Yes.
basically driving through like the back of the Grand Canyon, it felt
Yes.
like, to get there and to get
Yes.
back. But Christina came with cash. She had like a wad of cash to buy this Airstream.
Yep. Yep.
And I was like, yeah, let's do this thing. But it was used as, what was it even used as? Like temporary housing, because these people who had a ranch, it was like their kids had like soccer camp or something, and they took it to
Yeah.
soccer camp. Anyway, it was in
Yeah.
a shambles. But Christina had such vision. She's like, I'm going to fix this up.
Yeah, this was going to be my tiny home for me and my
Yeah.
8-year-old at the time, or 7-year-old at the time. Yes.
And what was genius is she had the vision, but then also she's like, because I won't be spending any money on housing, I can do all these other things. So you were able to alleviate your housing bill by buying this tiny home.
That was my whole plan. 100%.
Right.
Because I knew I loved experiences, right? All that. So I buy the Airstream. I get it a trailer down. That's a whole other subject. We almost lose it on the freeway. My dad saves the day. We get it to this place. I take a year to basically renovate it because I pulled all this stuff out myself. And then this is how I found my contractor that I am currently flipping with as my contractor.
Yes.
Is because I followed my dreams. And that's something that I just really want to I didn't ever think like, oh, I'm going to buy this Airstream and then I'm going to become an interior designer and then I'm going to become a flipper. Like, it's not like a thought out process. It was like, at the moment, this is what I want to do.
Right.
I'm following this passion. I want to make a beautiful tiny home. I want to renovate this Airstream. But then, of course, I live in the tiny home for about 3 months and I realized I can't live in a tiny home. I'm not a tiny homer. And I decided to sell it. But that sale of the Airstream gave me the profit to put the down payment on the house that I'm going to house hack, that I took the equity out to do the flip.
Right.
So it all started, when we say massive action, it could even just be
Something small.
Something small. Paying cash for a little $10,000 Airstream and following the dream. Like, I wanted to take something old and make it beautiful. That's all I knew.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
Thank you. And then you bought one.
Well, I bought one back in 2016.
Right.
And then I found out I was pregnant with Bodhi, my youngest, right afterwards. And I had a contractor do mine, but he was kind of doing it in his spare time and it took years. And I love Airstreams. I think that they're beautiful. Every time I see one on the freeway, I get really excited. Yeah. This was my second one. We've owned 2, me and my husband. But we are not camping people. We are boutique hotel people. And that's totally fine. But the second you realize I don't want to sleep in a tin can, I want someone to be bringing me margaritas by a pool. Then it's like, what am I doing with this $45,000 beautiful thing that I've never camped in? But that was like perfection. I mean, I got a custom tuft and needle mattress put in.
Yeah.
I hired a muralist to paint the ceiling. Like, it was unreal, but I sold it. And then I bought my cabin.
There you go. See?
I would rather have a cabin.
Right. Exactly. So talk about custom. So just alert and warning to any of those people who are thinking of flipping an Airstream. You have to cut the mattresses, because if you think about it,
it's curved.
It's curved.
The walls are curved.
What mattress comes
None
at an angle, like an angle,
and
like that.
then they're always up against the wall.
And they're always up against the wall. So of course us too. We had to cut it, and then we have to get the person to
sew it and do the whole. Honestly,
it was kind of a nightmare.
There's so many parts about camping that I'm not down with.
I'm not a camper.
I'm not down with like all the prep and
so
all
much work,
the
just
shopping
to have fun.
and the work doesn't stop. That's why I like boutique hotels.
Yes,
I like to
service.
arrive and have somebody take care of everything for me.
Yes.
But I know people love Airstreams.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I love the beauty of Airstreams. I wouldn't want to live in one.
Absolutely.
But I mean, they're a great investment. They hold their value.
Yeah.
They hold their value like no one's business.
Yeah.
So that is a great way to get started in real estate.
I mean,
just like wholesaling. Buy a little tiny house and flip it. But I really think that if you can approach real estate from a perspective of there are people right now where I want to be, and so can I learn from what they have to say? And this goes along that this is the exact lines of don't take advice from anybody who hasn't done what you want to do. But if you can take advice, you're going to get there faster and with less mistakes.
Yeah, that's
learn
the
from
thing.
other people's mistakes.
It's another classic saying, right?
Yeah.
Learn from other people's mistakes. That's
Yeah.
what it all comes around to, right?
Absolutely.
Take the course. Buy the course.
Buy the course. Buy the damn house.
Buy the damn house. Buy the damn course.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you have to, like we talked about yesterday, I had to put it on 2 different credit cards.
Yeah.
But how invaluable was the information, right? I wouldn't be at this point
Right.
as quickly. And
Was it worth it to you?
100%.
Yeah, me too.
100%.
Me too. I don't even bat an eye now about anything like that. I'm like, this is for self-enrichment. It's no different than going and getting a facial or having a gym membership. This is just another area of like self-enrichment.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. Which also leads me to, I don't know why I thought of this all of a sudden, but your Italian venture. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah.
So
Where do I start?
where are you going in September?
Okay, so I lived in Europe for most of my 20s, and I was in the Netherlands. I was not in Italy or anything, but I miss Europe. I miss Europe a lot, and I take my family every summer and we go to somewhere else. And this last summer, I really started researching buying a golden passport in Portugal because I was like, how do I become European? And I came across this Forbes article that said 90,000 Americans are eligible for Italian citizenship and don't even know it. And I'm Italian. My maiden name is Sampo, and my Sampo bloodline is from the north of Italy. And I was riveted by this Forbes article, and I was like, oh my God, what if I qualify? So at the end of the article, it talked about how you can hire an Italian law firm that will do a genealogy check for you in Italy and tell you yes or no. Like they'll basically be like, yes, you're eligible, or no, you don't qualify. So I reached out to this Italian law firm and I gave them all the information that I had about my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother, who are both Italian, born in Italy, married in Italy, and then came to the US through Ellis Island directly to California, which is super interesting, in 1911 and 1912. And I gave them all the information I had. This law firm was so amazing. They called the records offices in these tiny little northern Italian towns, found my great-grandfather's birth certificate, found my great-grandmother's birth certificate, found their marriage certificate, and they were like, yep, you qualify.
Amazing. A miracle.
So I don't know. It's to me, it's like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
But so where it gets interesting about moving to Italy is you can apply to do this and never leave the US. You can go to the Italian embassy. But because of this Forbes article, they have such a long wait list for appointments at the Italian embassies. There's one in New York, there's one in LA, that the soonest available appointment date is May of 2027. But if I just go to Italy and I move to Italy with my family and we become residents, it's 6 months. So
this is the plan.
So this is the plan. We're
So
doing it.
In about
We're going.
4 months, this podcast / YouTube video is going to be filmed in Italy. Are you in, Brett?
Yeah, come on, Brett. Come with us.
Are you coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be good. It'll be
You
really
and
good.
the wife. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
No, it's
we're not kidding.
amazing.
Like,
It's
this
amazing.
is like a legit situation.
No, it's legit happening.
Yeah.
But you go to Italy, you go to Europe all the time as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So this comes back to being flight attendants.
Yeah.
The world becomes your oyster and your playground because when it's $80 in taxes to go to Paris, why don't you go?
Why don't you
You
go?
go.
Yeah, you go. You go for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree. So,
Yeah.
so with that, so you've always loved France. We both have been
Yes.
Francophiles forever.
Forever.
And goes back to you way long, and me as a teenager. My mom took our family to the south of France every other year. So
I just remember the Toblerone story.
Toblerone story. Yes, that was in Switzerland. Yes, that was amazing. So anyway, speaking of that, I think a lot of our inspiration for our design comes from Europe.
Like, I would say mine is very old world. But maybe if it's okay, I would love to say how I became an interior designer because I think it's a great story.
Yeah.
So when I was living in Holland, my next door neighbor, Chris, his name is Chris Nairland. His handle is Worthland Interiors. If you want to look him up, he's pretty famous. He taught me interior design. And he rented out 4 years worth of World of Interiors and Architectural Digests and Elle Decors, like library books, to me. And he said, these are books, so treat them as books. This is my interior design catalog, as you will. And he said, what you're going to learn very quickly from devouring this much beautiful design is you're going to train your eye. And it was so true. And it did. I trained my eye, but in a very old world, classical European way. As I was learning interior design, I kept seeing really classical examples of very good design come up all the time. Just perfectly executed parquet floors, or the perfect light fixture for a space, or Europeans mix muddy paint colors really well. Like, especially in France, there's a lot of taupe and olive and like soft creams that come through, and their trims and stuff. And I don't know, I just eat that stuff up.
Yeah, of course.
And there's something really magical about walking into a boutique hotel in Paris and being like, oh, they went with that couch. Oh, well, I know that couch. I've seen that in like 8 Elle Decors. Look at that chandelier. The Moule chandelier. Good for them. It's good. So I think the theme of this particular episode just carries on from our other episodes, which is, of course, buy the damn house, just get started, but also the nuances. You can start small, but have it have a huge impactful impact in the future to get where you want to be. So just take that first step, just pull the trigger and do it, because you never know who you'll meet. For example, like with your contractor.
And then buying my house, I found the most amazing lender who I now recommend to all my clients in the desert, who's amazing, Dawn Desai. And she's just like, she nails it every single time. Every single mortgage, she has a loan for you. And I would have never met her had I not gone through the process.
And she was so easy to work with.
So
easy. I have a lender here that literally I can call him and I'm going to be like, and I can say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, this, and this. And he writes it all down and he goes, I'm going to get back to you in 30 minutes. And then he comes back to me and he goes, okay, we're going to do this. All I need is this. We're going to and he can execute immediately and 100% closure rate, which is important.
Yes.
He actually funds the loans.
Right.
That's important.
There's a big difference between being in escrow and closing
escrow. Yes. And we can have a whole episode on lending.
Yeah.
And how interesting lending is.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
Next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
All right.
With that said, here we are. I'm Grace Carpenter.
Christina Joy. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.